Hello students, today we are going to discuss the next lecture. For this lecture, our topic is discussion about the object-oriented programming concepts, and second topic is C# class and object. So discussion about object-oriented programming concepts. Object-oriented programming is a design philosophy. This is a design philosophy which programming language is following this design philosophy. This language is called object-oriented programming language. Some programming languages is following maximum features of object-oriented programming. So we are saying like that it is fully object-oriented programming. Some programming languages following uh, some rules and regulations of the object-oriented programming system. So we are saying like object-based programming system, object based programming language, not fully object-oriented programming language like this. If we compare our C++ programming language with C# programming language, we uh, we have seen already in C++ we can implement a program without class. Without class means we are not following here encapsulation process. So without class we are following to implement the program in C++. But in C sharp we are not allowed to prepare any single program without class. So we are following all the time encapsulation feature. So this is how we can understand easily. In C++ we are not following all the rules of encapsulation. So that's why we are saying like that C++ is a object based programming language. In C sharp, we know very well nothing is perfect in the world. So everything approaches to perfection, but nothing is perfect. So in C sharp also we have some points, but we can say like this: it is having a more featured for object-oriented programming design philosophy. So here we can see OOP is a design philosophy. It stands for object-oriented program. Everything in OOP is grouped as a self-sustainable object. We know very well in object-oriented programming system, object is an entity. Object is having a power to moving around the software. So object is only the part of the program which is roaming around the software, which is moving around the software, which is carrying uh, one data member from one part of the program to another part of the program. So object is only having a power to interact with different objects, to provide the features from one part of the program to another part of the program. So that's why we call this is called object oriented. Only object is orienting throughout the software, throughout the program. C# provides full supports for object-oriented programming, including features such as we have some features for object-oriented programming system. These features are number one, encapsulation, inheritance, polymorphism, and one feature which is supported by the object, that is called abstraction. So you see one thing, what is in general way, what is abstraction? What is encapsulation? What is inheritance? What is polymorphism? First thing is, firstly we understand the encapsulation. Encapsulation is the process by which we can bind our data with behavior. Data means we are talking about the variables, because variables contains the data. So that's why we are talking about here variables. So with the help of class we can bind our data with our behavior. Behavior means methods. Methods means how the functionalities will define and how the things will be carrying out. So this is called method. So with the help of class we are doing this activity, and we also say like that class is used to hide the details of our data members. To hide the details of our data members means with the help of class we can hide the detail of our data members. So you see one thing, the name of the encapsulation, it comes from the capsule, and we know very well the medicine capsule. As an example, medicine capsule, you see the outer layer of capsule, but you never see the internal medicine of the capsule. So what is the meaning around? Meaning is encapsulation is a feature where you can use the class features, but you cannot see the internal behavior of the class. You cannot see the internal behavior of the program. So you're hiding the data details. You are not carrying out all the data details in front of the user. So this is the encapsulation. Now we come to the point inheritance. What is inheritance? Inheritance is a feature, is a wonderful feature to set up a communication between classes. How this communication set up? Class never communicate to another class without objects. One class object can interact with the another class object. So object is only the entity to orient throughout the software and to make a communication between different objects. So with the help of inheritance, we extend the classes, we make a reusability concept, and we enhance the communication between the classes. So this is called inheritance. What is polymorphism? Polymorphism is a wonderful feature where we can implement the thing one time and we will use this thing many times in many forms. So like plus operation, in your calculator we have a plus operation. This plus operation, whatever you add three values, whatever you add two values, whatever you add four values, in all the time plus operation is plus, addition operation is addition, addition operation is addition. So like you are if you have two values, integer plus integer, integer plus float, float plus float, you have different categories, and sometimes you have different number of arguments, like three values, like four values, like five values. You have a different strategy, but the feature is same. Addition is addition. You are doing addition. So in your calculator you have only one button. This button is very useful to add two numbers, to add three numbers, to add four numbers, or to add integer with float, to add float with float, to add float with integer, doesn't matter. So this feature we can implement with the help of polymorphism. If you don't have this concept, how many buttons you need only to add the numbers, different numbers in your calculator, you need more and more buttons for this. And with the help of this polymorphism concept, you need only one button, and with the help of one button you can play it very well. Now the last one is abstraction. The abstraction is a feature when your object is carrying out your details outside the class. So object is only giving the particular details to the different part of the program which is required on that part, not giving all the details. It hides the details at the level of abstraction. So you see, we are hiding the details at two levels. Number one, encapsulation. Number two, abstraction. With the help of class and with the help of class features to be interacting to other part of the program. So this is called abstraction. So we see here the definition. Abstraction is a process of hiding the implementation details and displaying the essential features. Encapsulation. Encapsulation means that a group of related properties, methods, and other members are treated as a single unit or object. Inheritance. Inheritance describes the ability to create new classes based on an existing classes. So extension is here. Polymorphism. Polymorphism means that programmer can have multiple classes that can be used interchangeably even though each class implements the same properties or methods in different ways. I told you already the example with the help of one button. One button is an addition having a different class, but we can use with the help of one button only in different ways. So benefits of object-oriented programming concepts in C Sharp. Number one, with the help of this, the first benefit is we can divide our software into different modules. So this is very helpful for us to make the software very compatible, very comfortable. When we divide into small pieces, then we can solve the problem easily. If we don't have such type of ability to divide the software, so we will make a code in a one editor screen, and this is very uncomfortable to the programmer. It is not easy to understand. So you can do the mistakes easily on that part. So splitting will be happen with the help of these features. The software is split into a number of small units are called objects. The data and function are put together around these objects. Yeah, only objects carrying out the data and functions put together. Second, the data of the objects can be accessed only by the functions related to that object. Whatever the data of objects, accessing only the functions related to the object. The functions of one object can access the functions of the another object. The object is a runtime entity of the class. So these are the benefits of object-oriented programming concepts. So come to the next. So now the how to make a class and what is class. So to follow the encapsulation feature, we are implementing a class with our program. So class, what is class? Firstly, class is implemented by using a keyword class. Class creates by using the keyword class. Class is a logical entity which is used to bind data and method. I already told you this thing. Class is a user defined data type. Yes, you will remember this point as well. Class is a user defined data type. We have so many inbuilt data types: byte, short, int, long, float, double, decimal, char, bool. These are all predefined data types. So system defined data types, but class is a user defined data type. Class is a group of similar objects. For one class, we can create a number of objects. There is no limitation to create objects for a class. Class is a template from which objects are created. Class works as a template. Whatever you declaring in the class, this is working as a template for all number of objects you are creating for it. It can have field, methods, constructor, etc. So what is the syntax of implementing a class? Access specifier. Access specifier means access specifier may be public, private, or protected. If you are not putting any access specifier, by default it is private. The class by default it is private. Access specifier, then the keyword, class, and class name. Inside the class body, it is a opening braces for opening brace for start the class, and closing brace to lock the class, to close the class. So here we have so many data members and method declarations. After that we come to the next slide. So sorry, this is here access specifier means visibility of a class or class members such as public, private, protected. Class is a keyword to define a class. Class name, name of the class. The keyword protected The keyword protected is only used with inheritance concept, because protected is a keyword. While you are implementing an inheritance concept, only you are able to use the protected keyword. Otherwise, public and private. An example of C# class that had two fields only, public class student. Here is open class, int id, it's a data member, string name is the second data member. This is a class with student detail, id and name. Now see object. Object is a very important thing, because whatever you implemented in class, but it can be carries out only with the different parts of the program with the help of object only. Object is only the entity there. So C# is an object-oriented language. Program is designed using objects and classes. Object is a real-world entity. For example, chair, car, pen, mobile, laptop, etc. All are called objects. Whatever you are seeing by your eyes or not seeing by your eyes, living and non-living things, all are objects. In other words, object is an entity, has a state and a behavior. If anything has a state means data and has a behavior means functionality, that is called object. Object is a runtime entity. It is created at runtime. Object is an instance of the class. All the members of the class can be accessed through object. This is called instance of the class because whenever your program will execute, that time only it consumes the uh, primary memory for an instant. So instant process, that is called instance of the class. The syntax. What is the syntax here? First is class name. It's like a data type. Okay, it's a user defined data type. Then the variable name is object name. Then the keyword new. The new keyword is used to allocate the memory. Okay, new keyword is used to allocate the memory at runtime. That's why we are using here new keyword. And then class name, this is the constructor. We will discuss constructor in the next classes, but you understand here, whatever you are writing here a class name with a parenthesis, so this is called constructor. So class name, then object name, then new keyword, then class name and parenthesis, this is constructor of the class. So here class name means name of the class, object name means name of an object for the class, and new keyword to create an object of a class. An example, to create an object S1 using a new keyword, student S1 new keyword student. So this is the way to create an object for the class. In this example, student is the name of class type and S1 is the reference variable that refers to the instance of the student class. The new keyword allocates memory at runtime. So you should remember this point. This is very important point. The new keyword allocates memory at runtime. Example of a class that has two fields, ID and name. It creates instance of the class, initializes the object and prints the object value. Using system, public class student, int id, string name. These are the two data members. Number one integer type, number two string type. It is for hold the name value, it is for hold the id value. Here is the main body. Inside the main body, we are having just create the object for the class student, and after that s1 is the student object, s1 dot id is the we access the members of the class. So s1 dot id, and we have taken here any value of integer type. Here s1 dot name, we have taken here the string type value. Then console write line, this is for output display method. So s1.id and s1.name. So this is only giving the value for the ID and giving the value for the name. So we can see here this public static void main is a method. Public is a keyword which is used to access the features outside the class, and static is a keyword. We are not supposed to create an object to access the main method, because you know very well, without executing a main method we have no choice to create an object. After main method, like, we are creating object for class student, but for to execute the main method we don't have anything to create an object for to access the main method. So we put here static keyword. In our compiler, this feature already built, and this feature is supposed to not create a object to access the main method. Directly put the static keyword and it will be triggered to execute the main body in your program. And this is a string args. If you are not putting here, by default your system has this feature, but by default you see in your compiler, whenever you open a new programming window, then you see this string args by default will be having inside as an argument. This is a command line argument. This is a string type array, and in this string type array, whatever the variables you are using here, these values firstly store here as the array positions. So like this ID is stored here at 0 position and name is stored here at 1 position, just like that. So this is the simple program with the help of class and the object. So we create an object for a student class and we access the data members of the class. After that, it is close here the main body and close the class. Second program, in this program and the last program only, we are having one change here. Here we have created one class for separate the data members and one class for separate the main body. So this is the perfect way to uh, create the program in C sharp. Actually here we separated the data from the uh, main method. So in this way we divide the program into two classes, and first class is student, second class test student. In the student class, whatever the data members we just created in the last class, the same data members, but we have taken here public because we can only access the public members outside the class. If it is private, in the last class it was private, here it is private, and here it is public. So here, with the help of public keyword, we can access this the ID and name data member outside the class student. So we are creating an object for this class here in the test student class. Inside the main body is the same, and we are accessing these members ID and name, and we are doing the results are same, only the techniques are different. Here we are using a two classes. We split the program into two parts, number one student class and test student class, and we separate the data from the behavior. So here behavior is main body, and data we are carrying out in ID and name variables. Thank you so much.